Right, folks. Welcome to the Site and Architecture Commission meeting of December 7th, 2022. Diana, do you have some announcements to make to get us started?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, commissioners, staff, and meeting participants. Thank you for joining us this evening for the December 7th, 2022 Monte Sereno Site and Architectural Commission meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, I'd like to point out a few things to assist the commission members, staff, and members of the public to successfully participate in this meeting. Commissioners, please keep your microphones muted until you wish to speak. For the commission meeting, we are using Zoom to host the meeting. At the bottom of the Zoom client, there are two icons, chat and raise hand. Please use chat only to report technical issues, such as being unable to hear a commissioner speaking. And please use the raise hand if you would like to be recognized and enabled to speak to the commission by the chairperson. Comments in the chat feature will not be part of the public record. For the public to comment under oral communication or any agenda item, in addition to using the raise hand feature, emails can be submitted to the city planner, limited to 350 words, and they will be read into the record. This limit is set to adhere to the typical 3-minute allowance. Only attendees using the Zoom application can use the raise hand option to comment. Participation from a telephone will allow for listening only and does not allow for any feedback. And finally, because we are not all in the same room, all votes at this meeting will be taken by roll call. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, we ordinarily start with a motion by virtue of COVID that begins with the following. I move that by minute order, we determine that the governor has declared a statewide state of emergency regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, and that COVID-19 creates an imminent safety risk to Site and Architectural Commission members as well as other potential attendees of the Site and Architectural Commission meetings, and authorize that the conduct of this meeting be done by teleconference pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, open parents, small e, close parents. Is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Allison. All right. Any discussion regarding that? I hope not, but we've done this so many times before. If none, then let's go to a roll call vote, please.
So I will call off the names for the vote, and if we could please double this as the vote for this item as well as the roll call that you're present.
Perfect. Sounds like, yeah, I like that one. Sorry.
That's okay. Commissioner Balasubramanian is absent. Commissioner Booker?
Here and yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Sharma?
Here and yes.
Commissioner Zeidler?
Here and yes.
Chair White?
Here and yes. Well done, guys. Okay, great. All right, we have orders of the day. This is an opportunity from anybody for anybody from the public that wishes to speak on a subject that is not itemized as an agenda item tonight. So in other words, anything that's not on the agenda that you want to bring to the attention of the Site and Architecture Commission, this is your opportunity to do so. And if you'd use the raise hand feature, we'll know to call on you. All right, seeing none, I'm going to close orders of the day. Any oral communications that we need to be aware of, Ms. Perkins?
No, none that have been emailed. There were 2 written communications for the project on Bruce Avenue, which were posted online and emailed to the commissioners before this meeting.
Yes, so thank you for doing that. Everybody see those? Great.
Yeah.
All right, then let's move to item number 1 on our agenda tonight. This is the project at 17671 Bruce Avenue that's been so patient with us. Ms. Perkins, you want to introduce that, please?
Yes, thank you. This is an application for a site development permit for a new 2-story house at 17671 Bruce Avenue. And this was heard by the Site and Architectural Commission at the November 2nd meeting. The commissioners did request some design changes to the front elevation of the house and continued the item to tonight's meeting. The applicant has made changes requested by the commissioners, or discussed, I should say, with the commissioners at the last meeting. And that does include lowering the belly band at the turret so that it lines up with the gutters, the eave of the first floor. reducing the number of windows in the turret, and they have removed some of the wood trim along the front elevation to simplify the design a little bit. On the first page of the plans, it shows 3 elevations in color, and the top one was the original design that was reviewed last month. The elevation in the middle is the proposed redesign that's being requested tonight. And the last elevation, the third one, includes one additional comment that was discussed at the last meeting by the commissioners, which raised the sill height of the windows in the turret. So the applicant did provide that to show what that looks like, but they are requesting what is shown in the middle elevation, which has the sill height at the original location, which is a little bit lower than was discussed at the meeting last month. So this does conclude, the staff does recommend approval of the applicant's proposal. And this concludes the staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Great. Thank you very much, Diana. Commissioners, any questions for Diana? All right, very well. This looks pretty clear, and I really appreciate the applicant keeping this simple and with a summary of the changes as well. And we'll actually hear from the applicant. If they want to speak, you guys don't have to. But if you want to speak tonight about the changes, you're more than welcome. And I see Mr. Wade's hand up. Let's call him.
Hi, commissioners. I want to make sure you can hear me.
We can. Thank you.
Great. Happy holidays and good seeing you all
Likewise.
again. I'm going to make this quick because I know my client wanted to speak as well. As we have proposed the 3 images that you see there, obviously the middle one is the one that we felt fell in line with the commissioner's request for calming the front. However, we did want to mention that we still aren't real happy with that particular facade. My client really does want to raise the belly band back up to where it was underneath those upper windows and have the 2 cascading windows coming down the stair. So I think our first request would be can we use the drawing in the center, but raise the belly band and have the cascading windows would be our preference. However, we'll leave it up to the commissioners to decide. We just felt that amount of stucco under those windows just didn't look all that appealing, and that the architectural detailing is of some historical significance, that it is represented in other historical design, to have those cascading windows. That's primarily what another feature my client really wanted. So I'm going to let the commissioners kind of decide that one for us. And then my client, Raminder Jima, wanted to speak as well, I believe.
Oh, great. Thanks, Eric. Ms. Jima, please.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you again for hearing us tonight. My thought on all of this is that I understand that you guys want me to calm the facade down, and from everything that you'll let us know last meeting, we tried our best to accommodate all the different ideas and suggestions you guys put forward. The thing is that one of the commissioners did ask me to go online and look up some things that would help me to kind of find something that would be more calmer and English tutor. I did go online. I also walked around the neighborhood to get inspiration to try to find what I would really be happy with. There was many houses that I looked at, and then I came back to the fact that there's about 90% of English Tudor homes that I can get inspiration from that have that windows that go, stagnated along a turret like that. And I never did dream of having one single window in that turret. It just doesn't really represent an English Tudor home to me. And the only reason that the stonework is higher is to capture those stagnated windows going up the staircase. And that's something that I really, really want. However, I'm willing to take your advice on what you feel is appropriate for the neighborhood. But and there's the neighbors have written in, and they're really happy with the original design. However, I did explain to them the concerns you all had about it being too busy. So we showed them the updated designs as well. So I do have the support of the neighbors. They feel that it would be good for the neighborhood and the street. And I just, I know that it's your guys' decision, but I was thinking if we took away all those grids that were proposed and also the trimming that was too much, we took that away. But if we could please keep the 2 stagnated windows to make the English Tudor look complete, I would really be thankful.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, what you're proposing tonight is not exhibited by the drawings that we've been provided.
No, it would be the middle drawing actually, just with the 2 windows from the top. That would be the only difference from the original design. It would be exactly the middle drawing, except it would have the 2 stagnated windows.
Okay, so below the belly band in the turret, we would have 2 windows as appears in the original submission, right?
Yes,
So what you submitted tonight as requested by homeowner is not really the case. It's actually what's reflected in the top image, correct?
so we want approval today, and I just would like to propose if I could keep the 2 windows and keep the middle design. And we've also leveled out the garage. We've lessened curves on the garage door. We've taken away trim. We've taken away the grids. There were many more grids in the top drawing. We made them less. Only difference in the middle drawing is I'm asking if you guys would allow me to have the 2 windows in the top drawing that go up the turret in the stonework. That's all.
All right, and I'm not trying to be difficult here, but I just we need to know what we're approving and what we're considering. And as I understand it, it is the image in the center of sheet 1 of the plans that you've submitted, titled requested by homeowner, with the exception of the 2 windows that appear below the belly band on the turret, correct?
That's correct. We put in that drawing just to make every change, but I'm just tonight verbally asking if it would be possible to have the 2 windows. That's all.
Okay, no, I just want to be clear what I understood.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. No, everybody chime in with questions for the applicant.
So if you did have the 2 windows, would you still move the belly band up, or would that stay as it is in the center drawing?
It would have to go up in order to fit the windows. That's what the design requires. Otherwise, I'm happy to have the belly band down, but the windows wouldn't fit. That's the only reason we had it up, was to fit the windows.
And my second question is, so what did you swap out that material with instead of the brown wooden, whatever, the wood-like trim? What is that new material on that turret on the bottom half?
It's still stone, but Eric can probably answer that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was raising my hand. I wasn't sure if I was being.
You're doing the right thing. Thank you.
So let me kind of clarify a little bit here. Yes, so we are requesting the middle image with the caveat that we keep the belly band and the two windows that are cascading down the stairs like the top image, because otherwise the windows, as they cascade down the staircase, that belly band would run right through the middle of one of those windows, and it just architecturally didn't work out. And that's why either the belly band is up underneath the upper windows with the two cascading windows, or the belly band is down with the one single window down on the first floor. So those were really kind of the two options that worked with, for the two windows and the belly band. The materials are all the same. We just changed the color of the stone on the bottom just so it didn't make such a bold statement. And so if we raise the belly band, if we were allowed to raise the belly band up underneath the upper windows in the turret, the 6 upper windows, and have the 2 cascading windows coming down the staircase, we could use a lighter color stone so that the stone didn't seem so overwhelming.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
So when you guys communicated with neighbors and we received their letters, what did they see?
The neighbors saw all of these 3. Oh, sorry, let me, sorry, let me, oh, could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I showed the neighbors all 3 designs, and the neighbors all like the original design the most. That's the design that they all liked, and I'm not just saying that, it's just, I showed them all the 3 designs, and I did express what the concerns were about it being too much in the front to them, when I showed it to them.
All right. I'm not challenging your veracity in any way, but we do have to give notice to people and they have an opportunity to show up. And it's not clear to me that they've seen that which you're now representing to us as what you want to build, which is not reflected by any of the images in front of me. Because what you want is something that's a hybrid of at least 2 of them. So that's problematic for me. I'm just going to be candid with you guys. All right, very well. Any other questions from commissioners regarding the proposed design or from the applicants?
Yeah, I have one real quick one. I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I just want to confirm on the windows on the turret itself, the 2 windows below the belly band. Those will be the same size as the ones that you have reflected in the original drawing up at the top, correct?
Yes, there'll be those ones that are smaller and just 2 of them instead of 1 large one.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions, commissioners? All right. Thank you, Ms. Chima. Thank you, Mr. Wade. We'll close the portion of the interviews with the applicants. And if anybody from the general public wants to speak to this particular application, this is your opportunity to do so. Use the raise hand feature. We'll know to call on you.
There are no hands raised.
Thank you. All right, then we're going to close the public comment and circle back to the commissioners for a discussion regarding this. I think you guys all know my view. I expressed it moments ago to the applicant. There's a thing called due process in the world, and that which everybody received is not what was being asked of us tonight. So that's problematic for me. The design, not so problematic for me. So I leave it up to you guys to chime in with your thoughts and see what we can do tonight, see if we can get this thing passed.
Well, I'll just say that I think that the changes that were made as far as the color of the stone and the adjustment to the belly band are quite significant in terms of the design, I think, to the front of the building itself. I don't have a problem with the addition of the 2 windows and raising the belly band as discussed and requested by the homeowner, with the exception of just keeping the material the same and the same color, because I think that makes all the difference in the world. You know, it's not as, I don't know, it's not as drastic as it is with the darker colored stone. And I think for some reason it softens it and makes it look more appeasing. So those are my thoughts.
Good comments. Thank you, Patrick. Allison or Pallavi?
My thought is kind of similar to what you expressed, Chair White, which is if we don't know what we would be approving if you don't see a picture of that. But I agree with the comments by Commissioner Booker that changing that stone color, it makes a huge difference. And I don't have a problem with having two windows or raising that belly band, and as long as that material of the stone is kept the same. Oh, sorry, the color of the stone is kept the same.
Great. Thank you, Pallavi. Allison?
When I was reviewing this, I was really happy to see the changes in the second and the third image, requested by homeowner and requested by commissioners. And I was definitely more comfortable with those. I continue to think that the original design is quite busy, and I feel like raising the belly band and putting the two windows back goes a long way toward restoring the original design that continues to me to be too busy. I agree that the lighter stone helps quite a bit. It's really hard to conceptualize what we're being asked to approve, blending the images. I guess I'm kind of on the fence. I definitely like the lighter stone. I feel like if we raise the belly band back up and have the two windows, really the only changes from the original are modifying the upper left window, reducing a little bit of trim, and then the garage changes pretty much inconsequential. I actually like the original garage design personally, but I feel like we're going too far back to the original that was too busy. Although maybe if I saw an image of the lighter stone, maybe I wouldn't feel that way.
I concur with Allison's comments and what I expressed earlier. I have a difficult time knowing what I'm approving. Given that, we can do a couple of different things here. I know the applicant wants to move forward. I give them an opportunity. I don't want to see them wait yet another month and come back to us in January with what we're actually being asked to approve. I like with the white light stone, all that's good. I'm not a big fan of the belly band being higher. If there's some architectural reason that impacts the function of the property in some way, shape, or form, that by virtue of flashing reasons that's a necessary evil, I'm happy to hear that from the applicants in that respect, but I think it's merely a design feature. I don't like the higher belly band. I don't mind two windows, and I don't mind two windows with a white stone, but I don't know that the two windows with the white stone is what they want with a lower belly band. So I'll open it back up for some comments, Ms. Chima, but you put us in a really difficult position after submitting plans that I really liked. Go ahead. Can we unmute Ms. Chima?
You hear me now?
We can. Thank you very much.
Sorry. So the only thing that I can suggest to make it like more visually, like what I want to let you guys know is that it's going to be lighter stone. And for me, like if you guys focus on the original design and the second image, which there is like about 4 grids less nearly in each window up top, and there's a lot of stucco that's revealed there that doesn't look so appealing as much as like the stonework looks appealing going up to the top windows. But I will do it all in light stone if you don't mind the two windows. and bring it up a bit just to fit the two windows in. It'll look strange if you have a window that's kind of half in stone and half in stucco. And I don't think from the street it would make a major impact on one's eye either way. It's just that the two windows look very like historically English Tudor, and it really is my vision of what would look nice. The only difference is that we did take away a lot of grids. I heard a few of the commissioners saying that the grids were way too many in the top windows, and we took away quite a few grids out of there, and also took away the trimming. And the garage, like Commissioner Zeidler said, it's not that much of an impact which way we go with that, but it's just that that stone versus that major huge chunk of stucco looks more appealing than to have all that stucco, and less grids makes it look less busy. And the two windows are more smaller, and I can see that it would look nicer from the street. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so Diane, I hate to punt, but I'm going to ask for a little help here. We're being asked to approve something that all four of us may have distinct conceptual ideas of what we're approving tonight with no imagery, much less the public having an opportunity to see it. I was very happy with the changes they made, but given the advice of the applicant tonight regarding changes to the drawings that are before us, can we approve something based on hopefully a consensus regarding what we're approving? I mean, without a submission, without somebody not having opportunity to see it, you know, I'm worried about the due process elements of this, that it ultimately makes this whole process futile because somebody's going to complain and sue the city because we didn't give them an opportunity to be heard on what's actually approved.
So it is up to the commissioners to sort of punt back to you guys.
That's okay.
If you feel comfortable to approve the project with the modifications that the applicant has requested here tonight, that's certainly something you can do. If you're not comfortable doing that, you know, we could continue it to the next meeting also.
Okay. Eric, can I ask you a question? I see your hand raised. I got a question for you too. So if you guys could bring Mr. Wade back on for us real quick, sorry.
Hi, Chair White. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Hey, Eric, yeah, go ahead. I have a question for you, but go ahead and you may answer it already.
Yeah, so this hybrid came up just a couple of days ago, and that's why you don't have an image. It just came up like
I figured as much, yeah.
yeah. And I realized that there's no exact image, and so we're talking about this potential hybrid issue. I think that the easiest way to describe it is we're requesting image number 2 with the raised belly band in image 1 and the 2 windows in the lower portion in image 1, but in the white stone as in image number 2, I guess would be the way to break it down.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. Does the lowering of the belly band, excuse me, prevent 2 windows from being installed below it?
It does not. But what it did do is when I drew it that way, both the client and I looked at that window that was being bisected, the belly band running through the middle of the window. It looked very peculiar. And that's when we decided it doesn't work, right? So we had to make a decision. And that's why we put that one big window at the bottom on the first floor in the turret. And so that's when this came up, is like, well, gosh, we really like that belly band up high. Would they accept it if the stone was white? Kind of a thing. Yeah.
All right, understood. So you can't do the 2 windows if the belly band is lowered.
You can't. No, it runs through the middle of the windows and it just does not look right. It has a weird conflict of the way that the lines run. It just doesn't work visually.
And you can't lower the window.
Well, then you can't, because the staircase, and you can't have the glass too close to the actual working wall of the stair.
Okay. That's what.
Yeah. The
Okay,
stair,
that's what I thought was the case. Okay.
yeah.
All right, that's helpful. Thank you very much, Eric.
Chair?
Yes.
Would one option be to consider approval of the image requested by homeowner exactly as it's drawn? And then give them the option of coming back in a month if they want it with a higher belly band and such so that we could see those images. But like, if they want to proceed now, maybe give them, if we agreed an approval on the requested by homeowner as drawn, and then give the option of coming back in a month if they want additional changes.
I think we could probably do something like that. Other commissioners, do you guys have a thought on how we should address this?
I think, I mean, in the past, we have, when we approved it, we have said approval contingent on, some changes that we request. So we could make it that way, and that way, when the city planner kind of goes through it, they can just make sure that it's consistent with what we think we're approving.
And I think all of us can conceptualize, obviously, what's being requested. I don't think that's the problem. And it's just seeing the image of it is what we're talking about. And then also, Steve, what you're saying is the due process of, making sure that at least the public is aware of, the request, and that the approval process has been followed accordingly. So.
And I think Eric summarized the changes pretty well. So I'm willing to go forward. I feel bad. These folks have been here for 2 months, but they also created the problem by changing their mind 2 days ago. All right. So does anybody want to make a motion to approve the, this is going to be really hard. Approve the image reflected in the plans as requested by homeowner, which is the center image, with the modification that the belly band be raised and the 2 windows below that belly band reflected in the original design be installed.
With white stone.
With white stone. Are people willing to entertain that type of a motion tonight?
Well, let me ask a question before I say yes or no. I would there be a possibility of having the architect, Eric, draw something up after tonight's meeting so that we could all at least view something like that, and then make the approval contingent upon that? I'm just thinking of ways to solve it so we can keep it moving.
Yeah. No, I like that, but I'm afraid that then we're doing something outside of the public purview in relationship to reviewing that, and that's not fair to others, perhaps.
I would
ahead.
entertain the motion that you suggested, Chair White.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Let's see if I can articulate it again. All right. So I'm going to move that we approve item number 1 on our agenda, and with the following modifications as reflected on sheet 1 supplied to us. That the belly band that appears in the original image exists where located in that image, that the white stone reflected in the second and third images be used, and that the 2 windows reflected in the original image also be part of our approval, but all other changes reflected in the second image requested by homeowner be a part of the overall design.
I'll second the motion.
And before we begin deliberating on it, Diana, is that clear enough to you?
It is, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, I just want to make sure we all are on the same page. Okay. All right, then let's do a roll call vote, if we could, please.
Commissioner Booker,
I will vote yes.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Zeidler,
Yes.
Chair White.
Yes. All right. Good luck, guys. Thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for coming back. Very well, then we're going to move to item number 2 on our agenda tonight, which is, I think I saw 2 different addresses. It's 18450 Bicknell Road. Diana, if you'd introduce that one for us, would be very appreciative.
Yes, thank you. This is an application for a site development permit for a new one-story house that is approximately 6,547 square feet, and a tree removal permit application to remove 1 cedar tree at 18450 Bicknell Road. This lot is along Bicknell between Keto and Becky Lane. The proposed one-story house is located in the middle of the lot with quite a large front yard setback, which is typical of the homes along this side of Bicknell Road. The house, as proposed, has a stucco finish at the exterior walls, a tile roof, and dark bronze windows, which is in character with the existing neighborhood, which includes mostly ranch-style one-story houses. The application does include 1 tree removal permit that is to be reviewed tonight by the commission. The plans have a total of 32 trees that are to be removed. However, as you can see in the arborist report, which is the second attachment to the staff report, 31 of the trees are either small enough that they don't require approval from the city for their removal, or they are unsuitable trees as deemed by the municipal code, and those can be approved for removal by staff. So the 1 tree subject to the commission's action tonight is a cedar tree, and it is tree number 13 on sheet A 1.1. The tree is located pretty much in the middle of the property. It is in fair condition, but is located about 10 feet from the proposed construction. And as the arborist report notes, that the roots of the tree would be impacted by the construction activity. So they are requesting removal of that tree. Staff does recommend approval of the site development permit and the tree removal permit. This concludes the staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Diana, very much. I have one question. So sheet V4, which is the very last page of what was submitted, which is, I believe is a landscape plan. I'm hoping is a landscape plan. References several trees that are going to actually be installed. Do we know the number of trees that will be installed?
Let me double check here.
Some are existing, I see, and I just want to, I mean, are we getting close to what we're removing?
Let me look. Yes, I mean, there is definitely quite
Looks
a
like
few.
there's
trees to
30,
be
40 trees, yeah.
installed. Yes,
Okay. That's sufficient for me. I don't need to know the exact number, but so whatever the memorandum of conditional approval that the city has provided to us or staff has provided to us includes this landscape plan as part of our approval process.
yes, it would.
Okay, so in other words, the images that we see of this stark property without any landscaping on A 3.3 is not what we're approving. We're approving that with the landscape.
That would be correct, yes.
Okay, that's helpful to me. Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Perkins, commissioners?
I have one question on the height of the entrance, like the patio, the porch. What is that height of the porch? I wasn't able to understand that from the plans. It looks higher than the rest of the house.
It is. So we might want to confirm with the architect. She is in the audience tonight. The front entry is raised up from sort of the front walls around it, but the roof behind for the remainder of the house is taller than the entry feature is. But I don't see a specific height here, so perhaps the architect can answer that question.
I'm talking and no one's hearing me. All right, thank you, Diana. Any other questions for Diana?
Yeah, I was wondering, so the new landscaping, will they have some trees in front, or is it just lawn and bushes?
So the three, I think it is, yes, the 3 trees that are existing or in the front yard will remain. And then there are additional shrubs planned for along the side property line, along the driveway, as well as behind the existing three trees.
Oh, so on this landscaping picture, the 3 kind of white circles that say existing pine, those are staying.
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Great, thank you, Diana, very, very much. Okay, we're gonna open this up to comment from the applicants. If you use the raise hand feature, we'll know to call on you, and thank you for coming tonight. All right, Ms. Jane.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Oh,
I hope
well-
you can hear me.
We can, thank you.
Yeah, so to answer to the question regarding the height, the entry porch at the eave level is about 12 foot 8 inches from the finished floor. So it's relative about 1 foot 8 taller than the other, where the height of the eave is taller, by 1 foot 8 inches. And if you're okay, I can just present this project. My client is from Portland, and they bought this property and they wanted to propose a single family house, 1 story, to make it compatible with the neighborhood, as most of the neighborhood is single story ranch style homes. The habitable area is about 4392 square foot with a 3-car garage and about 1100 square foot of covered porches. Being in California, these covered porches are really good to be used in the evenings and over the winters and the summers. Also, we are trying to keep the materials all with the earth tones to blend with the neighborhood. And the largest setbacks have been proposed deliberately so that the privacy of the owner can also be maintained, as well as of the neighbors can be maintained. The client did want to preserve the front 3 trees because they were in a good shape. And we have worked with the landscape architect to ensure that we can replace as many trees that we are removing with 24-inch box or 36-inch size larger trees also, so that when they are planted, they are in a good shape and size. And also not having the garage door facing the front, I thought that was better so that the main house is not only the garage doors are not visible. And the breakup of the house also gives that there's not a very linear form of the house visible to everybody while they're driving by. And I'm here to answer any other questions if anybody has any questions on the architecture or the plans.
Great, thank you very much, Ms. Jane. I have a quick question. Is there any reason why foam trim is being used as opposed to wood or stone?
This was the client's choice, but I'm okay with, in case the commissioners would like to do wood trims, we can do with wood trims.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioners have questions for the applicant's designer?
Just one quick question from me. So at least from the renderings, it looks like it'll be stucco finish throughout, but there are some pictures that also depict like stone finish. So I'm not sure if there is going to be a partially stone finish, because I wasn't clear on that.
No, it is all smooth stucco plaster finish, and the foam trims that you're seeing even at the column base, they are just going to be the foam trims to enhance. There's no stone being used.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for our applicant? Very good. Anybody else want to speak on behalf of the applicant? I see another hand raised.
Yeah, hi, this is Vikas Aditya. So I live in Portland. I'm the
Oh,
home for this property.
welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
Welcome
thank
to our
you for-
community.
Yeah, and thank you for giving us time to present this plan. But like our architect Archana Jain mentioned, that this is pretty much in line with the neighborhood. We did visit many houses in the neighborhood, and based on that, we really like the character, like the village feel, and the house that we are building kind of blends in very nicely. And we wanted to keep it single story primarily for that reason. And we did talk to all the neighbors around us as well, and we showed them the plans, and they are pretty supportive of this. And they think that this will be really good addition to their neighborhood as well.
Great, thank you. Any questions, commissioners, for the applicant? Very well. Thank you very much, sir. All right, this is an opportunity now for the public to speak in relationship to this particular application. If there's anybody that wants to speak to this application, use the raise hand feature and we'll know to call on you. Welcome.
Yeah, hi, my name is Shalini, and I just needed a clarification about the tree removal things. So the request is for one tree, but the sheet A 1.1 pretty much says remove tree for every tree that's on the property, right? Like, so I'm specifically I specifically wanted clarification around trees, 24 through I think 29.
Okay.
So
real quick, are you a neighboring owner?
Yes. So
Where
I'm
do
actually
you
that
reside?
wall, that particular wall, tree 24 through 29, that wall is actually our backyard.
Okay,
These
great.
are very large eucalyptus trees. So I'm just trying to understand, are these getting removed? If they are, then, is there a replacement for privacy?
My understanding is those are being removed. And if you haven't seen sheet V as in Victor 4, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 9 replacement trees going in there. And if you haven't seen that plan, I'd encourage you to look at that. I think that's available online on our agenda, it should be.
Okay.
But that's my understanding. And Ms. Bergens, correct me if I'm wrong in that respect. Sorry, Dan, I can't hear you.
Sorry. That is correct. The eucalyptus trees are being proposed for removal. They are deemed as an undesirable species in the municipal code. So the commission's approval to remove those trees is not required. So they are being removed, but it's not subject to the commission's action tonight. The removal of those is approved already. And yes, there are several trees to be planted, as you mentioned, 7 to 9 along the backyard. And the applicant is proposing quite large trees to be planted. We typically require 24-inch box sized for replacement trees, but there are several trees that are proposed to be planted at 36-inch box, even up to a 60-inch box. So they will be fairly large trees even when initially planted.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ms. Srivastava, the plans actually reveal in the back there that those are going to be 48-inch box trees that are going to be replanted along your property line, and they're going to be valley oaks and London plane trees, which I'm not familiar with, but oaks I know.
Okay. So
Okay.
the only other concern I had is that these eucalyptus trees are really huge. They're like 100 feet probably, right? And those trees are literally, I would say, not even like 15 to 20 feet from our property, like our home property boundary, like the home. I'm just wondering what the impact of removal might be on our property again. So I'm sure it'll be taken into consideration, but this is a big project, and I don't know how it's going to impact our property. Like,
I understand that's a understandable concern, but not one over which this commission has any control.
okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No other hands are raised.
Okay, very good. So we're going to close public comment and back to the commission. Who wants to start?
I will. I like the
Thank you,
project.
Allison.
I love earth tones. I think it's much more harmonious with the natural surroundings that way, and I like the project. And I think it's wonderful that they're removing the eucalyptus because they're so flammable, and that's why they're not desired by the city. And I think it's great that they're putting some big trees back in for the existing neighbors' privacy and their own. I think that should be wonderful over time.
Great. Anybody else?
I like the project overall. I think it's a beautiful home.
Patrick?
I'm good. I agree with both the other commissioners' comments.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more ornate. I'm not a big fan of foam stucco. I like to see something in stone or a wood, but I'm not going to deny this application because there are so many homes that have that in that area that it's probably warranted here. And I like the fact that they're planting the trees, and the landscape plan is the reason why I'm supporting this application, because the images that appeared in the drawings without any landscaping were awful. All right, having heard all of that, I'm going to make a motion that we approve item number 2 in our agenda, conditioned on the memorandum of decision that the staff has provided to us. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Allison. If we could do a roll call vote, please, Diana. That'd be helpful.
Commissioner Booker,
Approve?
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Zeidler,
Yes.
Chair White.
Yes, and good luck to the applicant. Very well. Anything that we need to know, Diana, as part of our final elements of the agenda tonight?
One thing is, at the beginning, we did miss the approval of the minutes from the November 2nd
Oh,
meeting.
thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Yep.
You guys are so much better at this than me. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Well done. And
I'll
Flavia,
second.
Excellent. And we do a roll call vote real quick.
Commissioner Booker,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Zeidler,
Yes.
Chair White.
Yes. Very good. Everybody return your iPads if you haven't already. Anything else, Diana, that we should be addressing? Is there a SB9 report or anything of that nature to discuss tonight?
Yes, well, we still have no applications for SB9.
Good.
So that is that report. And then I did also just want to comment that this is the last meeting for Commissioner Sharma and Booker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, as the 2 new commissioners will be starting in January.
Okay. Patrick and Flavia, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity to, work with you and learn. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't ask for a renewal of my term because I just have to focus on my health. So I'll miss you guys though.
We'll miss you too. We hope to see you walking or somewhere close nearby.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I've enjoyed working with all of you as well. It has been a learning experience, but a very good one for me. And it's been nice to meet you all and work with you. So
excellent. Well, I hope to see you guys in the community. You guys have both been excellent commissioners, very considerate and very well prepared every time we have a meeting, and that's to be complimented. So well done.
thank you.
All right. With that, we'll see everybody in 2023, right?
Sounds good.
All right. Come to the
Great.
meetings, Pallavi and Patrick. We'll miss you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year as well. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right,
Thank
bye now.
you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.